Hi and welcome back or welcome to my All the Perfume YouTube channel. In this video I'm reviewing Portofino 97 by Victoria Beckham. If you are a subscriber or you've watched my previous videos, you might well know that this perfume has been on my wish list basically since it was first launched. Back in October 2023, I tried and reviewed all of the new Victoria Beckham perfumes, and there were 3. But it was Portofino 97 that went straight to the top of my wish list. And basically a few months ago, I decided that I would be buying myself a bottle in time for my 40th birthday. So that is what I've done. And even though I had reviewed those 3 fragrances and the testers, I felt that this whole bottle needed a video in its own right. So here we go, let's get into a review of Portofino 97. The Victoria Beckham collection of fragrances is an autobiographical one, so each of the scents is meant to recollect a phase in her life. And with Portofino 97, it is all about when she first met her husband David and holidaying together in Portofino. This perfume is meant to capture the feeling of a new infatuation and romance. And I'm sure I'd read somewhere that it's also meant to feel like 2 perfumes layered together, like a kind of couples sense, each of them coming together to make one perfume. Now, all 3 of the perfumes in the line are marketed as unisex, but with this one, it's meant to be like that combination of, I guess, a typically feminine scent and a typically masculine one, which makes sense when it's Victoria and David that we're referencing, and the fact that it's an autobiographical collection. Let's take a look at the bottle and the packaging. And I think that this bottle is so much nicer, not only than I remember it, but in reality compared to photos as well. You've got this kind of hip flask shape, the same as the other 2 scents, but the blue on this is just beautiful and very reminiscent of the sea. It's nice to hold, and the gold finishes and cap give it a luxe vibe, and also you've got VB on the top there, which looks really good. So I dropped this morning and I couldn't dwell on it. It's still spraying, it still smells incredible. But I have to say that the damage is only minor, and it isn't a reflection on the quality of the bottle, because this landed on a perfume tray and there is no bottle in my collection that would have survived that fall. So tiny bit sad about that, but we move, it sprays, I'm feeling lucky. With the box, I love the fact that it's one of these kind of book type boxes that we tend to get with our niche scents quite often, and I won't keep it, but it's fun to play with this first week or so. So it opens up like this, and then inside you've got more information on the scent and the notes and the inspiration. It's quite simple. I like the monochrome of the box, and that is how the bag that I bought the perfume was as well. Nice white with the black details of the brand logo. I'm happy with this. I can't wait to display it with the rest of my perfumes. Let's get into the notes. So I'm going to read that little bit that was inside the box, because it actually tells us all about fragrance notes. And it says, a new infatuation, a secret escape, the seductive scent of desire, the enrapturing fragrance of burgeoning romance through the memory of Portofino 97. And here are those notes. A euphoric hit of Calabrian bergamot and black pepper, crisp white sheets suffused with incense and amber, patchouli and vetiver lingering on the skin of a significant other. Let's give it a spray. And as I'd said, this was just an instant love for me, and I do enjoy it when that happens with perfume. I knew I needed a bottle. But you know what, when I first sprayed it, I didn't know the notes. So I certainly agree that that is a euphoric feeling you get when you smell the perfume. But I'd confused the bergamot and thought I was smelling pineapple initially. So that is what this smells a little bit like to my nose. Now I know it's bergamot, but it's lovely and fruity, and just before I feel I can say that it's juicy, the pepper makes it crisp. And that is what I love, that what they wanted to achieve, what Victoria and the perfumers wanted with the crisp white sheets, is there in a fragrance. It smells so good. And then what I'm noticing this time around is how the incense and the vetiver kind of give it something smoky, which balances that fruit and makes it more than about that initial burst. The patchouli is definitely there and adds some depth as well in the dry down. So it is smelling So good, and it's quite simple for its notes, but I really like that. This definitely leans towards the more typically masculine perfumes, but what I do love is that it really gives me 90s nostalgia. And on the one hand, you'd expect that with 97 being in the name, but then I suppose it's specific to Victoria's holiday memories. But then again, she did base it on hers and David's scents mixed together, so there might be an influence of perfumes they liked at the time. And when I'm smelling this, it kind of feels like I'm smelling a really much more strong and intense and fruity version of a Calvin Klein perfume, which for me is completely 90s, so I love that. Quite a masculine feeling scent, 90s throwback, fruit, but with depth and something smoky. So is Portofino 97 worth it? And I have a lot to say on this subject. This 50ml bottle retails at £170, but the 100ml bottle is £245. So it is the most that I have ever spent on a perfume. But for me, it was worth it, because I spent the entire 10 months after my testing of this and its launch knowing I wanted the bottle in my collection. And I revisited the scent 5 or 6 times, I think, and never wavered, loved it. I didn't question it or think, could that money go on something else? Or isn't it a bit similar to? It was just a perfume I knew I really wanted and would appreciate and love and wear. Also, with the fact that I had my birthday, admittedly a while off that point when I first liked it, I was able to ask my siblings if they would contribute. So it isn't all of my money that's gone into this scent. I do have my siblings contributing too. For me, it's worth it. When we got to the counter in Victoria Beckham, and I knew this would happen, my husband said, wouldn't it be better value to buy the bigger bottle? And I was prepared for that. I knew it would happen. And yes, of course it'd be better value, because you're paying an extra £75 to basically get the same again. But I was set in my mind on what I was doing. That was enough money to be spending, and I came away with this one. And then I got home and thought, well, of course he was right, because I would have the same again. But this is where we're at. I have this bottle, and if the scent doesn't get discontinued and I really do wear it quite a lot, there may be a future in which I buy it again. Something I will say though is that it is a little bit disappointing that the discounts that are sometimes offered on Victoria Beckham's site never apply to perfume. And this isn't just exclusive to her brand. I found this with other brands too recently, that you'll get like an introductory code or something maybe for signing up to be a member, or there is just a sale, but the perfumes don't receive those discounts, and that is a shame. I'm saying more and more recently that I don't really look for projection and longevity in my scents. I just like to respray. But of course, at this price point, you would expect both. And I'm happy to say that both are here, and that is the case with Portofino 97. When I wear it, I know I smell of it, and I feel like I smell good, and it really does last on my skin too. So I'm really pleased with that. I feel that the packaging and the experience of buying the perfume were really great. And I've heard that if you order online, the packaging is beautiful too. So that's another plus point. But I do think it would be really nice if you bought a full bottle, you received samples of the other 2 scents. I just think that's a fun way into perfume and a way to experience perfume, because if you're showing that you're buying a scent and that you love it, then wouldn't the house kind of want you to explore the other 2 further? Just that's my opinion on it. It all feels really great and like quality. I do think in an ideal world, it could have done with being £100, not 170, but you know, this is the perfume I like and I'm happy with my choice. It's just not something I take lightly, and certainly wouldn't recommend as a blind buy. You can buy your samples online. They are £30 for the 3, and that is how I first tried the scents, by having that discovery set and just really making sure that I knew what I liked first. Now for my wish list. I really like Sweet 302 from the line, and you know what, that is much more of a typically me scent. From the notes, that is what I expected to like, even more than I like this one. That one is cherry and tobacco, and it smells so good. But how I talked myself out of it last year was thinking that it was, and still is, quite similar to Kayali's Invite Only Amber 23 scent. So I felt like I kind of have something similar. I don't need that in my collection, whereas this felt really different. Well, I retested Sweet 302 in store the other day, and I still think it smells so good, even better. And actually now I've changed my mind, and I feel I could happily have that scent in my collection, because it does smell a bit different. Different enough, should I say, to Invite Only. My husband isn't keen on it. He much prefers this, and he'll wear this in fact, but yeah, I think that Sweet 302 is also a really well done scent. In the last month or so, they have released an oil that accompanies Portofino 97, so that isn't normally a product I use, but I would love to have that in my collection because the scent is just so beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this review of Portofino 97. Please do let me know if this scent appeals to you, or if you've tried it, and in fact the same applies to the rest of the line too. I would love to hear your thoughts. Please do give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to my channel. You can find me over on Instagram, TikTok and my blog. Thank you again, and I will see you in my next video.